What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Backliners podcast, Aggro and BaRRaCCuDDa, and my camera is weird, but chat, I came prepared. Bam! You get my dog instead. I don't know how to fix the camera, but I can instantly do it that way, alright? So we're going to do it that way. BaRRaCCuDDa, as per usual, and we got special guest Benji coming on the show. Benj, thanks so much for coming on. I'm going to be honest, man. I would have asked you to come on earlier, but I thought you would have said no.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I understand that. I would have thought I would have said no as well. Like, I'm not really sure why I'm here, but it is what it is.
It's the perfect storm, man. You were going off on Twitter, 3 whole tweets in one night. That's how you know stuff was going wild. We have a ton of stuff to go over here today. I mean, an insane upset today in SPL, I think, is where we should start because it's the most recent. Look, the Scarabs, They've got potential, yada yada. We're not on broadcast. Let's call a spade a spade. This team, no one expected them to be that good phase 1. It was going to take them some time to do anything at all. But I don't know if you shattered the mentals of
I think we did.
Do you actually think that's what happened, Barra?
Dude, they played so weird. I think their front line just looked so awkward. And normally their front line is one of the most cohesive front lines in SPL. And then today, they just look lost, man. They look so weird.
Fine in particular, sure. Man. He had a really rough week, I would say. I mean, Haddix looked really good, of course. And again, all of this conversation is not to take away from their opponents. But Fine certainly did not play at the same level. I mean, Benji, I'm assuming you watch solo laners a little bit more closely than the other roles. What did you see in their Dragons matches this week on that side of the map?
I mean, even just scrimming them recently, they've been playing a little weird. And I wouldn't rate my team that highly right now. I think we'll definitely need a bit more time to kind of get our shit together, but we've been doing pretty well versus the Dragons in scrims, and I don't know, even in scrims they were doing a lot of weird stuff that was in my opinion pretty obviously not going to work in this meta, and instead of practicing the more meta things, which was kind of surprising to me. I think they got punished a bit for that. I don't know if they're getting cocky or maybe if things aren't working for them and they're trying new stuff, but yeah, they're definitely looking a little off. But not to take away from the Scarabs, they played sick.
Yeah, they played super well, man. I was very impressed with them for sure. I don't know, the Artemis pick is what everyone was talking about, Barry. Is it trolling? Yeah, I'm sure you loved it. Is it actually good, or are you just trolling?
I've been wanting to play Artemis for a long time, and every time you're literally top 3 in your ADC, and I'm just I just want to play Artemis here. I don't think Artemis is the reason they lost that game. But also, I didn't see the game. But I don't think Artemis is the reason. He had lots of damage. He died twice, which, I mean, that means he had an impactful game. He doubled Steve's damage that game. I mean, that's super impactful too, Play damage, very relevant stat in today's SPL.
Yep, always.
And, yeah, I didn't actually see the game, unfortunately, but I would assume Artemis is not the reason that they lost. And
yeah,
I don't know if PCAT is, bored of the current ADC meta, because it's literally, 4 characters, 3 or 4 characters that everyone's picking in SPL right now. And I don't know if he's just, bored, picking Rama and Artemis, or if he thought that those were best in slot, or what.
He probably thought it was good, because usually he's down to just play the same 2 characters every single game.
Yeah, exactly. Like every ADC player, the Rama Cupid meta, dear lord. Literally every game.
I think ADCs have the least. They're the classes that are the most down to play the same characters over and over again and build the same things. Other classes start getting tilted when there's not build variety, but ADCs usually are down to just spam it.
I would love to build anything but the current OP crit build, but it's just too good not to build right now. If you go to Fire Giant or Gold Fury without a crit build, it takes 10 seconds longer. Dude, it's nerf crit, bro. It's so annoying to build every game.
Benji, I'm assuming you're on that same train, that you're sick of going against crit?
I mean, dude, Zap said the build was balanced. And Zap has been complaining about ADC builds for years. Zap has said that hunters suck for years. So if he thinks it's balanced, it's the most broken shit ever. If Zap thinks it's balanced, it is off of the charts broken.
Bro, there's no shot he thinks it's balanced.
Yeah, I mean, it is ridiculous. It's probably the strongest hunter build I can remember. You have an infinite gold hack. You have like max attack speed, max crit, full pen. Like you literally have everything.
You can literally two-shot a squishy. Every frontliner, including the jungler, has to build Spectral now. Like, fantastic. All for one build. Like,
Yeah.
Listen,
it's so annoying.
Barra, just remember this moment and how annoyed you are now for whenever it gets nerfed into the ground and your whole role is worthless. And you're gonna come on the podcast, you'll be like, oh, hunters suck now, we can't do anything. Just remember this, you had your time.
Yeah, no, I enjoy crit, but as long as it's not like super OP. And it's still like the same in lane where if you get crit, you just lose the 1v1, which is not fun. And there's like zero thought going into every ADC build. You can't build Ichable against like auto attack junglers because crit's just better. You can't build Oboe against like front lines are going to be stacking up in team fights. You literally just have to go crit every game. And it takes all the brain power out of ADC. I mean, there's already like no brain power in ADC.
What brain power to take, bro? You're in the negatives already.
Alright.
It also makes builds really boring in other roles because we already have like one less item to work with because of starters. And then like if you think about it, there's 6 item slots. Like you have boots, you have a starter, and you have spectral every single game for tanks. So you're only working with like 3 items. It makes tank builds really boring as well.
Right, definitely a lot less opportunity for variety. I'm assuming, mid-season's coming up, things always get shaken up a little bit there, but, everyone's been pretty vocal about crit, so we'll see what the design team decides to do in that regard. All right, we can't spend too much more time on this, because, guys, we have so much drama to go over. There was so much trash talk on Twitter, which was awesome. Okay, I have to say this, though. Variety was just tweeting about it. Trash talk between SPL players, awesome, and I can't get enough of it. I'm always down. Trash talk from random people tweeting at pro players, hella lame and no one cares. Like, just no one cares. Don't harass these players. I don't care if you think they're bad. No one cares, dude. I don't know. That stuff just tilts me. And then, like, Panda Cat retweeted some guy who's been in his mentions. Awesome dunk by Panda Cat. Loved that. And then the guy goes, nobody can get in your head. It's like, bro, you don't get to just sit there and tweet at me forever and then be like, oh, I got you to respond to me. Like, that's such a weak point of view, bro. I don't know. Do you guys deal with a lot of hate tweets? Because I get some like hate DMs about my casting or
Really?
like hate tweets. Oh yeah, about how I got one today about being too biased for you guys, Barra. Whenever you guys were getting dumpstered by the kid. I know! I'm the meanest team to you guys by far! I am the meanest caster by far. By far. And I get constant tweets about how biased I am for you, how I'm biased for the Dragons, how I'm biased for the Leviathans, how I'm biased for the Titans. Everyone thinks and they all do. Every caster gets those.
You literally go out of your way to roast me or my team.
Well, yeah, like, you guys should just get better.
No, you're doing it intentionally so people don't think you're like being nice to us, and I support it. I think that's good.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with what PCAT did, like the tweeting towards the random guy, because that just gives him attention.
Sure.
And now, if you're a troll looking to get clout on Twitter, that just gives them more ammunition and more like say so to go ahead and troll pros to get a response.
Yep.
Like that's literally all they're looking for. And I think, I mean, obviously you slam dunk the kid or whatever, but I just don't like responding to like the randoms on Twitter because it literally just fuels them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I'll have you respond in a second here, Benji. But when in Rome, in the chat said Gormizer is 1,000% biased towards dragons. I promise you, dog, he does not care who wins. None of us care who wins a given game. Let me be honest with you, the vast majority of the time, we're hoping that whoever won the first game wins the second because we're hungry and we're cranky and the headsets hurt our ears and we're ready to get out of there. Okay? That's what that's where the bias comes from, is that if it's fast games and then we're out of there real quick. So I promise you Gore doesn't care. Benji, go ahead.
Especially when games were best of 5 in like season 6.
Oh my god.
Like every single time like it was like 2 up, you would just be like, please win. Just like please win the third game. Like we want to go home, dude.
Yes, dude.
That's probably the most bias I've seen from casters in a while. But yeah, I mean, I guess one of the benefits of being like not very active on social media is I don't really get anything. And I have my notifications pretty much muted on Twitter, so if anyone's talking shit at me, I don't see it. But
You're just vibing and doing your thing, bro, and I love
vibing,
it.
Dude.
I've got so much respect for that. Benji, you're notorious for not exactly spamming the ranked queues. We'll put it that way. That everyone says you're just showing up for scrims, then you're showing up for SPL, but you just own like every year. I don't get it. What's it gonna take for you to actually like play the game outside of scrims? Because you'd be the best player in the world instantly.
I thought you smurfed all the time.
Nah, that was the old me. I'm reformed. I just don't play now. No, but I don't know. I mean, when people get better, then I'll grind more because I'm still super competitive. But if I don't have to practice to beat everyone, then I'm not gonna practice. Like,
I mean, you kind of went off this whole week, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Like you guys looking better has just been scary camping your lane, and then you picking Kakulin and just going monkey mode on him.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy to camp solo right now, so we're just vibing.
I think for good reason. Okay, so we talked a little. Oh no, we didn't even talk about all the Twitter drama. Let's talk about what kind of kicked it off, and I'm just gonna take all the credit here, which was the Rosterpocalypse video that we made. It took a long time. BaRRa, remember when we were talking about you saying that you turned down PK twice on the podcast? You were just gonna come out and say it at the very beginning of the year.
Yep.
I'm glad that we did it the way we did it, even though it took some time. How much response did you get, BaRRa, from that video? Did you have a lot of people asking you questions? And if you want a soapbox to expand upon your point now on why you made the decision you did, I suppose this is the best time to do it.
I had a few angry people, but I think a lot of the people that should have been angry at me were angry at Jake instead for his like 100%'s not 100% thing.
Great line, by the way.
Great line, really funny line. And I think I should have gotten more flack because I mean, I literally said that on Sunday we're sticking together or whatever, and so for me to even consider another offer is scummy, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think I would. I don't know. I don't know if I would still consider an offer like that. Because it's just so much stress, and it kind of sucks that you have to do it in, like, a day.
Yes.
Like, you don't have more time to think about it. Everything's, like, crammed together.
Yes. And it moves so fast. Like, things change so quickly during that time.
Every time at 8 or 9 p.m., all hell breaks loose. Every night, everyone starts, like, joining that Discord, and everything starts breaking down. And that happens literally every night after Worlds. Right after Worlds. Even when Worlds was in person, it's literally at the after party.
Oh, yeah.
It's right after a team loses. People literally immediately start scrambling, trying to find options.
Dude, while I'm drinking at the after party, I'm like looking to see which players from different teams are talking to each other. Like I'm trying to get so I can DM them later and ask like what they were talking about because I know that they're trying to team, bro. Like it happens so fast.
It's a mess. And I have always valued sticking together and kind of improving as a unit and just playing with the same players. I've kind of always had that mindset. And I mean, the biggest change was leaving like Jeff and Andy and Aqua and like all those people that I've been playing with forever to now to playing with this group of players now. And I was kind of on that same mindset going into this year. And I really enjoyed playing with Lass and Vin, like if it was Lass support and Zungle, which sounds very memey, but I truly think that would have been good. It would have taken some time, but I think it would have been good.
Yep.
And I mean, I heard your yep there. I know what kind of. I don't even need to see your face. I literally know what face you're making.
That team would not have been that good, bro. It wouldn't have been that good. Come on now.
No, it's fine. We would have been good.
Okay.
And again, I don't need to see your face. I know the face you're making.
Yep, sure am.
And like I said, always valued sticking with the boys. And there's a lot more that went into it, but it would take a very long time to explain everything. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like sure. I enjoy playing with the same group and growing on an already set foundation. And I feel like if I joined PK or that roster, there would have been like weird shoes for me to fill and more pressure to perform. I think it would have just been like a different uncomfortable situation. I'm sure given a few weeks or like months of scrims or whatever, I would have gotten used to it and used to like the way they play the game. But yeah, I just finally made a decision to stay together.
Yeah.
I do feel really bad for Zap. Like,
sure.
What we did to him was very scummy, and I hate doing that. And it's just very lame to do that to anyone.
Yeah, I hear you. For my 2 cents, I don't think it's scummy at all to consider offers like within 48 hours of the season ending. Like, I don't know. It just it seems crazy to me, and it's so much easier for me from an outside perspective to understand that it's a business and that you should do what's best for your career and all that kind of stuff. But I've just always been such a big proponent for that, and I think that staying together, I mean, obviously, you guys are looking really good, all that kind of stuff, but I don't think anyone, and you and I talked at length at the time as well, about how it's crazy for someone to lock themselves to a roster and then not even hear other offers. I think that that's just, like, psychotic. Like, I just can't, I just can't imagine doing it.
Well, I think the main reason my team wanted to do it was so we wouldn't have to go through the stress of other offers.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, really good. Well, it's just Vin and Lass were going to turn down all the offers that they got, and we're just going to tell people no.
Sure.
And then Jake's door / DMs were still open. So it's like bad to Lass and Vin because they're already like saying no to offers and not considering anything and not DMing anyone in that like current like opening of Rosterpocalypse.
Sure.
So they felt wronged by that because like if Jake would have just told them that he was going to consider other offers, they could have been considering other offers at the same time.
Right. I'm just saying that they should have been. I think that everyone should be. That should. I understand that's not how it works.
100% is not 100%.
And now we know. So. And now we know for sure. Benji, you I think you were sick on content day, if I remember correctly. But we didn't get a chance to talk to you about your off season. What was your off season journey like? How did you end up on the roster you did?
It wasn't too exciting. The main thing for me was kind of just deciding if I was still going to keep playing. Because I was taking classes. They just finished, but they ended up all being online. So I was able to balance that with SPL pretty easily.
Nice.
But yeah, it really wasn't too crazy. I wasn't trying to do anything too wild.
I heard
like some people.
I heard I don't know if it was just confusion whenever Paul and Scary joined, but the initial thing I heard was that Paul and Scary were joining, and you were gonna jungle, and Scary was gonna solo, and then it got swapped. Was that a conversation?
We decided to tell everyone that I was gonna jungle and Scary was gonna go solo just to mess with people. But there was no way that I was about to grind ranked and learn how to jungle, dude.
Bro, that's what everyone I talked to said. I was like, no way, Benji's gonna just roll swap and have to like relearn everything. No way.
Yeah. So yeah, it was always the Scary jungle, not the bungle.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Actually, a thing.
The bungle would have been fearsome. There's no doubt in my mind.
It would have been, but maybe another year.
Maybe another year.
Next year.
Yeah. How you brought up deciding whether or not to play, Benji. How long is it? Like a year-to-year thing for you at this point? Do you have an idea of how long you want to keep playing?
Yeah, it's kind of just every year. I've pretty strongly considered quitting. For different reasons. Like at some points, I've been pretty unhappy with like the state of the league. Like personally, I still don't think SPL should be a LAN league, but that's kind of like a whole different conversation. And it makes playing SPL like a huge commitment. Whereas before, when it was just online, like you could do school, like you could even like have another job and play SPL. But now it's basically an entire career commitment, and it's not really the greatest career. It doesn't really have that many paths out of it, unless you're becoming like a streamer or something. So. Yeah,
agreed.
And but that's your path, right, Benji? You're going streamer mode right after this?
Yeah, full streamer mode. Full cam girl mode, you know how
I see there's a great space for a hot tub right behind you right there. Who needs a couch, bro? Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm happy that the Rosterpocalypse video went well. Oh, I saw a lot of people talking about the Valkyries. Without any of the Valkyries players here, I thought it would be too weird to try and get all of their story via webcam. Neil was so critical to the story that we kind of forced that one over webcam, even though I wanted to keep it all on in-person interviews. Plus, the Valkyrie story is a little bit more self-contained. They didn't really mix around with other players. It was a will they, won't they sort of thing. And once they get here, I will do I'm trying to do a video on exclusively their story, but that's just to answer a lot of questions I saw. And going back to the bias, man, I saw a lot of comments like they just hate the Valkyries because they didn't do anything for them. Like that's the kind of nonsense that you're just seeing all the time, man. I don't know.
Was Oceans a roster?
Was Oceans a roster? I think I did see Oceans on some roster. I don't know if it was that one.
Okay.
I mean, on the lower end teams, like you guys let people submit for multiple rosters.
Correct.
So I remember hearing about like a bunch of different rosters that just had like combinations of the same players on them. Like seeing some people on like 3 different rosters, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes, that was consistently a thing. Just tons of different rosters submitted, and there were some good ones. There were some less good ones, but that's a story for Cooper's end of.
I want to ask, how did Old Rival not get selected? Like, what was the selection process like for that? Because I'm pretty sure you are a part of it, right, Aggro?
I was, and I'm comfortable talking about it because I do think that it's a fair question for sure on Old Rival. I won't speak for anybody else, and it was obviously a group decision. But for me personally, I was more in favor of the current Valkyries roster because of the recent performances over the last 2 to 3 years from that team. They were a bottom end SCC/SOC team the last 2 years. Those players who kind of broke up and went their own ways. Their last year in the SPL was not exactly inspired. It wasn't horrible, but it was better than Inbound's year before, for sure, because that's the obvious comparison that everyone's going to make is to that Scarabs roster, to the Valkyries roster. But I just think that team hadn't done enough in the last 3 years competitively to override the potential of a Johnny team, Zero's Johnny as a core who would play together and looked very good. And that was Johnny's potential was a huge factor for me in him coming in. Like Zero's and Johnny had just dominated SCC versus the Old Rival roster that got relegated from it. So I was pretty heavily in favor of the Valkyries personally.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I didn't really follow EU SCC at all. I was kind of surprised seeing that they ended up at the bottom.
Yeah, they got relegated.
I don't know if that was just them not carrying it. Wow, they got relegated. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it had to have been, right? Those guys are talented. It had to have been them not caring, but I just don't think it's fair to go, oh, well, we didn't care. You shouldn't take that result seriously.
Yeah.
When guys like Johnny did care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And have been putting in that work. So I've been pleasantly surprised with how that team has done in EU SCC. They're near the top of the league over there, and they've been playing pretty well. So I hope that they continue playing well and can come to LAN whenever that's possible and prove us wrong. That's the way I feel about it. But I feel very validated with how that worked out. All right, let's talk some friendship league / some Twitter drama that went on. Benji, I loved your tweet, man, that if it was a friendship league, you and Clow would be absolutely gunning it down every game.
We would be absolutely running it.
Clow would be playing like
idiots, and we would be last place, and we would be having so much fun, dude. Like, you don't even know.
Like Jean-Qui made for Clow, like absolutely just in between towers, whatever. The Clow Vulcan, of course, iconic.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Absolutely iconic, yeah.
Benji, we'll kick it off with you. Like, what are your general thoughts on that? Because I think it's obviously nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obviously nonsense, and I think most of the good points have been made on Twitter already. But, I mean, most people, like, knowing, like, kind of the behind the scenes of, like, the Rosterpocalypse stuff, like, people aren't really making decisions, like, heavily based on, like, friendship. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, if there's 2 players who are close, like, a lot of times the team will pick, like, who they think they would work better with, which in a team game is completely understandable. But no one's, like, putting their friends on a team and locking people out of the league. Like, that's honestly absurd.
Right.
So, yeah.
Barry, your thoughts?
I don't think people should look at it like you're going to put everyone like a tier list of, like, best possible performances and then just pick all of your favorite players off of that. Like, there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes. Like you're literally working or like scrimming with these people on a daily basis. You're having talks with them outside the game. You're watching SPL together. Like you're spending a lot of time with these people, so you better enjoy being on a team with them, or it's going to be a really rough year for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've seen that in the past with a few super teams where their ideologies of how they want to play the game just clash. But they are really good players, but they just have different ways of wanting to play the game. And I think getting along is very important, as Benji said, in a team-based game where everyone has to be on the same page for your team to do well.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just like I agree with what I think it was Fine who tweeted it. Like instead of saying, "Oh, these friendship league, these people don't deserve to be in," like name the person you think is not good enough, and then name the better replacement who's willing to come to LAN. And like Benji said, it's a big commitment to play SPL these days. Whatever things are back to normal, so not everyone can do it. Like you're looking at guys like Pagon. He's just not able to play SPL quite yet. So I think that Pagon will get a shot. He should get a shot whenever it's his time. That dude's a beast, but he can't. So until then, Crimson, another dude, really good, can't play SPL right now. So I just don't think that there's anyone waiting in the wings who really wanted to play SPL who deserved it over any current SPL player. Is my thoughts. I don't know if you guys have a differing opinion on any of that.
I think some people really want like a bunch of fresh new faces in the league every year. And I think this year was...
We have a decent amount this year.
Yeah, I think we have a decent amount this year. Plus, we got a decent amount last year.
Yeah.
Plus, we went from 10 to 8 teams. I think season 5 or season 6.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, the league has gotten downgraded a ton. That's a solid point. Like, there's just less room for new teams right now.
Yeah, like, what did we have before? We had, like, 16 teams, like, 8
Yeah,
and
there used to be 8
and
and 8. Yeah, 8
Yeah, like, I think if we went to what Benji said earlier with, like, an online league where there can be a lot more teams and we have, like, LANs, it would make a lot more sense for a lot more people to come into the SPL new. If there were relegations and a lot more, I guess, like, a wider... I guess like competitive setting, but right now with 8, it's just really hard to push in new players. But I think we have been doing that really well. And I think if you push out the familiar faces that have been playing the game for a long time and push in like new players every year, no one will want to be a Smite Pro if your like competitive like lifespan is like 2 years.
Right.
Like, there's no reason for people to commit their entire life for 2 years to move to SPL, especially if it's all a LAN league. It's just really hard to make that life decision, in my opinion, to continue to recycle very frequently.
Yeah, you got to have some staying power.
Yeah, it's also different in MOBAs, because in MOBAs, like, your knowledge kind of just gradually builds and keeps getting bigger every single year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a lot harder. Like, imagine someone just, like, who started playing Smite, like, a year or 2 ago. Like, how are they going to catch up to, like, our, like, combined, like, 10 years?
Yeah.
Maybe even more. Like, it's way too much at this point. Like, however much competitive experience we have, like, that would be such an insane learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, Mike definitely comes to mind. He started playing season 2 and was in the pro league by season 3.
Yeah.
But even look at how much he like his play style and like how much different he plays now to how he played back then. So
yeah, I mean, it took him a while to get going. His first few
years
of performances were a little rough.
little bit rough.
All those Sobek plucks being missed back then.
I mean,
a few Fafnir hammers going out the window. But,
Listen, that's why he stuck to the Geb and the Athena. You're not messing those up nearly as much, and he was just the shield zap boy for a little bit, and that was working for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just took him some time to graduate from that for sure.
Transform inside and outside a game.
Yeah, dude, it is so crazy. Like, even looking at pictures of Mike from last year, like, it is just wild, bro. That guy is.
Yeah, he hit the Jets, dude. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's one of like the biggest transformations I've ever seen on anyone. Like, not
and it
just,
was
like,
so
in Smite.
fast. It was like so. I can't believe how fast it happened too. Yeah, it is wild. But that's a good point, NoobTube. That SPL has a lot of glow ups. There's a lot of people who have gotten in really good shape. Gormizer as well, of course. Someone who comes to mind. His transformation just absolutely wild. All right, let's get to the Twitter trash talk now, shall we? Barry, your teammate Venenu, he kind of went off this weekend on Twitter. But not even talking about what he was saying or the interaction or anything. I want to know your reaction as all of it's happening, because I can imagine it's a little bit fun to watch your teammate do that.
I was doing the Hazer interview, and no one cared about me and Hazer doing the interview together. The entire chat was literally just talking about Vin and Hurry going back and forth on Twitter the whole time.
He stole your spotlight.
Just spamming, like, go look at Twitter, go look at Twitter. No one cares about what me and Hazer were talking about. So I missed the Stay Salty Tower Boy, like, at the beginning of that. And I joined TeamSpeak later, and everyone's just dying. And, like, I mean, Vin destroyed Hurry on Twitter. And I fully support that. I think it's very healthy for the league, and I think it's very healthy for Vin in particular, because it boosts his confidence, and he just feels like he destroyed Hurry. And very, very good for Vin. Very good for the league. I think we'll see where it goes from here, because we had a lot of trash talk this weekend. I think it's the most SPL's ever trash talked on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Yes.
So, as long as it stays like semi-friendly and no one gets like too butthurt about things, it'll be good. But if people like genuinely start getting angry and start hating other people in the league over like some banter on Twitter, I think that's where it'll be bad. But right now it's at like its healthy beginnings.
Yeah.
As long as it just doesn't get too crazy, I fully support it.
As long as it sticks to gameplay only, and it is not over the top. I think it'll all be really, really good. Benji, what solo laner are you going after with your fourth tweet for Season 8?
I mean, I don't know, dude, because I kind of like all the other solo laners. I don't really...
Unlucky.
I don't know. I don't have beef with anyone. But, yeah, I don't know. Tower Boy is definitely one of my favorite tweets I've ever seen.
Dude, come on.
That needs a Hall of Fame spot. Like, that is absolutely iconic.
I'm going to talk to Ajax this week about trying to put a Tower Boy title in Smite. Like, in Tower Boy and Tower Girl. Like, come on, man. It's too good. Now, the question is, whenever we eventually print shirts for it, should it be a Bolts logo with Tower Boy, or should it be a Dragons logo with Tower Boy? Like, that's the real question.
Probably would have to say Stay Salty Tower Boy with a Bolts logo, and then have a Tower Boy Dragon shirt.
Okay. I could be buying that.
Or like a jersey in the Dragon store that just says Tower Boy across the back.
Yep.
I think that'd be good.
Oh, okay, so whoever commits and buys a Dragons jersey and writes Tower Boy on the back and tweets it is gonna get mad clout, like, instantly. That person's gonna, for the impressions alone, someone in this chat should better be doing it, because that's gonna be too good.
Just replace the Hurry Win jersey with a Tower Boy
jersey. Exactly, dude.
Don't tell anyone they think they're getting a Hurry Win jersey. It just says Tower Boy on the back.
We take it out of the website. You can only get Tower Boy instead.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe it did affect the Dragons' mental, because they definitely did not look good today. But I thought it was fun. Panda and Zap going at it beforehand was a lot of fun.
Their back and forth is always entertaining. They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, we all know it's
Zap is kind of Panda's kryptonite, though.
He really is, dude.
It's a bit unsuspecting, but if you look at the results, it's like he's really not beating Zap anytime.
Dude, he's not. The last 3 Worlds, all losing to Zap, and Panda's play well, but
yeah, for sure.
I mean, Zap, he's kind of got his number.
I mean, most people would probably consider Panda to be the better hunter. Like, I don't think that's like a crazy take. But,
no, not at all.
But
Zap, he's bringing more than just the mechs. He's bringing that leadership mentality for sure. I guess we should talk a little bit about your guys' games this week. Because Barra, we talked last week about how this was a big week for you guys.
Yep.
Big test. You wanted to go 1-1 at the very least. You went 1-1. Are you happy with the result of your games this week?
Kind of happy. Really happy with how I played against Dragons. And it kind of felt like we never really got off the ground against Kings. And that felt really helpless. Because I was like, Turnabog wanting to rotate, wanting to make plays on the map. And we just couldn't.
Yeah.
And Game 1, I literally got hit by every Jam Assault. Loving that game.
I said it on cast. The first
nonstop.
one where you're just like running away and it clips you, I'm like, BaRRa's gonna be so pissed about that one, dude.
And then my ult is like 0.2 seconds from getting off the ground, so I
Yep.
die. Fantastic.
Yep.
And then later I get hit for 1k at the tier 2, and then at the final fight at our duo Phoenix, I get hit for 1k off the Arthur Big ult. Love that. Yeah, I really participated in that game. And then game 2, we got a little better. We weren't like getting stomped, but we just like weren't grouping and playing well in like the 3v3. And we were just making a lot of mistakes that we wouldn't normally make. And it was just really bad by us, honestly. Like, we got first blood, but we couldn't do anything on the map with the first blood, which felt really bad. Because I was like 800 gold up in like 5 or 6 minutes. I was like, oh, I just steamroll duo. But we literally couldn't do anything duo side. And I'm like, I can't do anything duo side. I can't rotate with turn ult. Like, what am I doing? Like, there's no reason for me to have this lead if I can't do anything with it. And I think we just played bad. I think we also drafted pretty poorly into what they were going to do. We knew exactly what they were going to do, and we just thought our picks on that day, or today, was going to do way better than it did.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad.
How sad were you whenever you dashed into the Ymir wall and then Genetics just canceled it and you were just sitting there? That was so funny, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about like insta-dashing off of it and just hoping like the mind game that he cancels the wall, and then I just sat there and I was like, oh, I'm just dead. And I think that was right off another like Arthur big ult. Like,
yep.
Harry literally like big ulted me every team fight.
Something about you and Jan Assault, something about Harry and running you down with King Arthur, bro. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that set. And I got like raw sniped like 3 times the second game. Like I could not, like, BMT literally just owned me that set.
He's so hacking, bro. He's really good, man. That whole team is good. They're fun to watch. They play a little bit of a different style, but I say it every time I cast them. I just love. They look like they've been playing together for a really long time, and only Twig and Harry have played together before. So that's really impressive to me for sure. Benj, for you guys went 2-0 this week, looking a lot better. But before we get into this week, actually, I gotta ask: the game where Scary's like 9-0 in 9 minutes. Then you and Cyclone get a little, you got playing a little fast and loose there for a little bit. Like, what was that game
trolling.
like? Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of thought we won it before it was over. I mean, I don't know.
Was that like was Scary? Like, that was Scary's first big game out of the jungle too. I felt so bad for him. He was like, "All right, guys, I'm doing it," and then like it just started going a little wrong. Like, I felt bad for Scary in that game.
Yeah, for sure. That was kind of just bad. I don't know. I mean, there isn't too much to say about that.
Sure.
I was kind of surprised that they were even able to come back, even though I entered a bit. But you know, it happens.
It does happen. All right, let's talk about this week then. Scary is looking a lot better. You guys in general, like we talked a little bit about earlier, just playing around your side of the map a little bit more. Have you guys felt that improvement? Are you expecting to continue this kind of run?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that playing around solo is pretty natural for Scary, given that he was a solo laner.
Right.
And he's definitely getting used to jungle. Like, he's, you know, kind of filling those shoes pretty quickly. Faster than I would have expected, because it's probably the highest learning curve of any role, at least in competitive. I mean, like in ranked, you can literally just play jungle and run around and get a kill on every single gank, but it's not like that in SPL, you know?
No.
So yeah, I'm really happy with Scary so far.
Paul,
the Valkyries...
Go ahead. No, sorry. Talk about the Valks.
Yeah, the Valkyries set was pretty easy. I kind of farmed them. And then our most recent set was a bit more difficult, but yeah, like our first game, we had a massive lead and didn't really capitalize on it at all, which is something we obviously need to work on. Yeah. But yeah, as I said, for this team in general, like I think like my expectations for our results aren't really short term at all, because you know we have like a first time jungler, we have like a core who doesn't have synergy yet. Like it's gonna take time.
Your backline kind of went absolutely wild in that warrior set though. Like Cyclone and Paul are both playing at a super high level right now. That's got to be the best feeling as a solo laner, to like just take all the pressure off of them and just let them like and just see them killing everyone around you.
Dude, being in a backpack is like the best feeling in Smite, especially when you're someone who like to be honest, has to carry a lot of games like throughout my career.
Yep.
Like at times like the Cyclone and Paul backpack is massive. It has like a lot of space, dude. Like I can fit in that thing.
You could put the hot tub in there. You could start streaming from there.
Yeah, that's the cam girl setup. But yeah, I mean, like Paul was going absolutely insane versus former team. Like I was watching the Janus game. Like I was dead a lot because
Unlucky, they were focusing you, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got the first person experience of the Janus gameplay. Like he was going off like that. That was actually nuts.
Yeah, I mean, so many sick plays from Paul. Cyclone's one play by like the order side blue buff is Heim, where everyone's running and he's like, all right, guess I just gotta kill my way out. That was like some John Wick level stuff, bro. He just like turned and killed everybody.
Yeah.
He just got
those AoE auto crits were just
disgusting.
Yeah.
Is Heim good?
Like 400, 400, 400. Like, yeah. It's just, I hate the build. I'm sorry. That build's so OP. Man.
Yeah, it must be so unfun to play that and just kill everyone in front of you.
Dude, it is.
We all feel so bad for you, man. We feel so bad for you.
All right, screw you guys. It's a Backliners podcast. I'm trying to help you guys.
What do you mean you're trying to help us?
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you are. You're helping the front line, I suppose.
The build's so OP, I don't even want to build it. That's the thing. And you literally just get to watch Cyclone literally 1v4. Like, he played it well, don't get me wrong. But he literally... Yeah. Alright, rant's over.
I mean, he held left click and he hit those AoE autos, I mean...
Yeah.
And they did big red numbers worth of damage. Big red numbers, which is always what you love to see. I was just about to say, we should probably get wrapping up soon, but I think you guys are going to be playing soon, and sure enough... You guys are playing next week. You're going up against one another, I do believe.
Oh
yeah. Next Sunday. The
Me
final
just having
game.
no idea when we play anyone.
Dude, you shouldn't have told him. He would have not shown up.
Oh yeah, I should have known.
Second time.
I think it's good. That's gonna be a fun set, a good test for you guys, Benji. But surely you'll be able to just obliterate Haddix. Like little rookie doesn't know what's coming for him, right?
Yeah, I mean he's been solid. I remember the first time we scrimmed them, like at the beginning of this year, he was looking a little shaky, but it looks like he's gotten his confidence, which is nice to see. Like he's been solid, Julio's been solid. Like it's really cool to see like new players like playing well.
Yeah, I think all the
spices it up a bit.
Solo lane has looked really deep this year. Save for your set, I thought Duckies looked good for the vast majority of the year. You guys kind of gunned them down, but that's kind of how it goes.
That team is right? 5-man on ping. Like if I was playing on EU servers, I would be hard inting every game. Like it. Yeah.
Impossible to say how good that team is going to be until they get here for sure. BaRRa, you and Cyclone, like two of the only few players who have played in every split of the SPL. It's kind of like the old man match in that duo lane this week, huh?
I thought Cyclone was young.
He is, but you're old, so it's good enough.
Okay. I just bring up the average age in that lane. Oh, that's great. It'll be fun to see whose support runs it down harder in the duo lane. Because Aurora's been looking kind of W key. Jake is always W key, so we'll see. We'll see how arena our set is.
How many times did Jake go, "Hey, I died and I still had beads up today up against Twigs Najee"?
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
You got to give him the beads lesson, bro. Frontliners are bad at using beads. I'm saying it.
Dude, they either like press them when they don't need to on literally nothing, or like just hold them because it's like I can live. I don't need to press it.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
It really do be like that. Just give them thorns again. They know when to press that. They know.
Yeah,
they know
especially when you can thorns while getting CC'd. I miss that, dude.
Yeah, we all miss that a lot.
Oh,
yeah. Let's Athena taunt this guy, and I'm gonna crack at him as long as he doesn't thorns. I'm not, and then I'm dead. Like I'm gonna Ross at this guy. I hope he doesn't thorn. Like I'm just dead every time off CC, bro. I hated that stuff. I hated it.
Yeah.
We can buff it as long as that doesn't come back. You know, we can buff it as long as that doesn't come back. Oh crap!
I think it's absolutely crazy that Thorns isn't meta in a full crit every game meta. Like Thorns has to be absolute dog if soul laners aren't building it right now.
I mean, it got nerfed into the ground. Like first, you can't use it while getting CC'd. Like they also put like the damage, like the amount of damage it could return, like limit on it.
Yep.
And then they like nerf the amount of damage you return. I remembered building it at the beginning of this year because I was like, yeah, dude, I love building thorns, and then it was just terrible.
Surely,
That was kind of depressing.
Surely Kuzenbo has got to be good in this meta against crit, right? Like, how come we don't see that god at all?
I mean, if you could go Bluestone Kuzenbo, I would, but
I was gonna say, like, what role? Like,
just put him in support, man.
He doesn't get any gold. Kuzenbo needs gold to be good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Benevolence.
Just don't go Benevolence. Just go Sentinels instead. You'll get more gold.
Do you?
Yeah, you get more gold than Benevolence, I think.
Mathematically.
Actually, I don't know. Now that after Compassion gets buffed to have the GP5 as well, that might not be true anymore.
Oh, one thing. Can we stop putting gold and experience on items?
Sure, man. I'm on it.
Like, Gilded should not be a thing. Ornate should not be a thing. Benevolence, I don't understand. I don't know why it's a thing. Like, we've always tried to avoid this, and then this year it's like, oh, you get free gold in Dual Lane. Oh, you're already gonna be level 20, you finish Ornate. Oh, you get Deathbringer 2 seconds later. I don't get it.
Remember at the beginning of the year when we were going over Hunter starters, and we were going over Gilded, and you were like, yeah, it's really fun and it's good, but like, I think at the time Hunter's cowls everyone was building. Like, Hunter's just feels way better in lane. And I said, isn't getting free gold just really OP on your roll? And you were like, yeah, but...
Dude.
Remember that?
It was different times.
Yeah.
I also was one of the main Gilded buyers.
You were. I will give you that credit. You were. Oh, also remember when I said Benevolence, just giving your carry free gold is also pretty good, and you're just creating gold out of nowhere. I know that item needed some buffs, but like, I knew it was going to be broken eventually. It had to be. Because no one's going to let the supports get farm, right? No hunter is going to watch the enemy support give up farm to get them ahead, and then not complain to their support to do the same. Like, that's just not how the way of the duo lane works. It's just not.
I just don't think Benevolence should be an item. And I don't think Gilded should be an item either.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough.
Just lame items.
I agree.
All right, so I didn't think of a random question of the week. It's almost like we do this every week, but I forgot.
It was the weird food thing that you...
Oh, yeah, I did! I'm so smart for messaging you. Thank you, Barra. Okay, so as a kid, everyone does some weird food thing, right? Like, you dip something in something else, and it's really gross, but you did it as a kid. And no one should judge anyone for how gross their thing is about to be on the podcast, okay? That's all I'm about to say. Benji, you can go last because you're being ambushed by this. So think of some weird food thing that you liked as a kid. Because I'll start it off. No way it's going to be grosser than mine. When I was a kid, I used to dip baby carrots in strawberry milk in order to eat them. That was my favorite way to eat baby carrots, was in Benji's face.
That's not even like a sauce, though. That's not like carrots and ranch. Like, it doesn't even, like, the milk wouldn't even, like, stick.
It doesn't. Nope, it just tastes vaguely of strawberry. Like,
you just needed a vague hint of strawberry with your carrots to get them down.
Yeah, it wasn't good, man. It grosses me out to think about it now, but I swear that was the only... And I'm sure my mom, like, looked on in horror. She was like, what, like, moron kid did I birth? But I was eating my carrots, and that was good enough for her. So that was mine. Barra, what was yours?
I did two weird things. So after I would eat cereal, I would spoon the milk into my mouth for a while because I wouldn't want to drink it out of the bowl initially.
No, I do that too.
I don't know why. It was delicious. It was like ice cold, and it had like cereal flavor. So I was like, I was savoring it. And then my second one was like a snack that my family told me about. You basically made an Eggo waffle, but you put cheese on it in like a toaster oven. And then you would like stack the waffle as like a sandwich. So it'd be like a waffle, a slice of cheese, and a waffle, and you put like syrup over it. And I didn't realize that was weird until I told Destiny about that, and she was like, "You put cheese on a waffle?"
That is hella weird, for sure.
That is weird, yeah.
I would try it though. I would try it. That's the thing about it, is that I'm not mad at it. It's weird, but I'd try it once, at the very least.
Delicious.
Like grilled cheese waffle.
Yeah, grilled cheese waffle would be kind of banging.
No. absolutely not. I was just saying that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Let me on there.
Yeah, it's totally me too. What about you, Benji? Did you have a weird one when you were younger?
I've been thinking about it this whole time. Like, I don't want to cop out, but I actually can't think of anything.
Just too normal. Just too normal for us.
The thing is, like, when I was a kid, for whatever reason, I was like a super picky eater. Like, I'm not now. Like, I'll literally eat anything. But when I was a kid, I was like a really picky eater. So I would just be eating like plain pasta and shit.
Yeah, I
So
was a big
I wasn't
buttered
doing anything
noodles
too
guy.
crazy.
Buttered noodles was the way when I was a kid.
What is plain pasta?
Like literally
no
just like
sauce.
pasta with no sauce. Like
Yeah. But you'd put,
I guess
would you put
that's
Parmesan
pretty
cheese
weird.
on it?
Like,
Weird, my God.
like that is some serial killer shit. Like, I'll be honest. Yeah, maybe that's a weird one.
Wait, did you put the little Parmesan? Did you sprinkle the Parmesan cheese or no?
No, dude, just straight up.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. I did just Parmesan cheese as a kid because I didn't like tomato sauce. But yeah, that is definitely really weird. Benji, I know you're a big rap fan. Thoughts on the new J. Cole album?
I've not listened to it. I'm not a J. Cole fan.
Not a J. Cole fan. Well, there you go. It's trash. Yeah. We all know, and that's how it's got to be. J. Cole did make his professional basketball debut in the Africa Basketball League, and he had like 3 points and 3 rebounds, and it was awesome.
I saw a tweet about that saying like, dude was just running around.
He really was.
He had like 0 stats in like 17 minutes. Like, homie was just running around the court in circles.
Imagine being the best guy on the bench, and you're just watching J. Cole run around and take your minutes. You're like, dude, what is this, man? Like, this is so lame. That was so
cardio.
funny. Yeah, he got some good cardio in there. All right, well, that's going to do it for the Backliners podcast this week. Thanks for everyone for tuning in as per usual. Benji, thanks for taking the time and coming on. It was a pleasure to have you. Make sure you guys are giving us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and checking out all the other prediction shows. Also, we have merch, so buy that. There was a link in the chat earlier on. You can find it in the YouTube link if you're watching it there, or in the podcast description if you're listening. So thanks for listening or watching, and we will see you guys next week. Barry, you know what to do. Oh no, your mic cut out. Do it again. Wait, okay, you're peeking your mic. Do it again.
What? Do you want me to get close?
No, the opposite of that. The opposite of that.
Bye.
There it is.